This game?
Honestly, we played top. Happy with the goal. I just want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for giving me the opportunity to play in those types of stadium. Honestly, we played well, and I'm happy with the victory.
There is a lot of energy in this team. Do you think you can achieve the final, maybe win this competition?
Look, we always play to win, but we watch.
See, we said we'd get that Doku interview straight back to you. Energy, he says, and being able to sit back and just see tonight who you're going to play. It's a nice feeling, Connor.
He's all about energy. He's a player who's all about energy. How he possesses it, how he runs. We've just spoke about it and analysed kind of his performance. But what Man City are really good at as well is saving energy with the ball, having the ball for periods of time, having the ball for long periods of time and wasting the other team's energy. That's what they're fantastic. So he's exactly right. They're obviously excited and it's brilliant to see an English team like that being so excited about who they're going to get in the next round and how far they can go.
Yeah, we haven't spoken about Juventus in terms of them because I think we were all blown away by Manchester City taking it up another level. So how do you assess their game today, Mo?
Look, they weren't great, I'll be honest, but I think that's due to Man City being so good. You know, they were pinned back for the majority of the half. We thought whether they'd come out pressing. I think they tried in the first few minutes, but then when Man City kind of get the ball and they just dominate and possess, like you said, you know, how good they are at keeping the ball and also resting. It was tougher for Juventus to even come out and try and break. They did have, you know, 2 chances. It was good for them to score those 2 goals. Vlahovic especially going into the next round. But I think all in all, it was a tough night for Juve.
Yeah, I think making the changes as well doesn't help. I think, you know, the quality and the depth of the squads showed today, and it was tough for them. It was tough for them. It's difficult when you play against a City side like this because you don't know whether to come out and go toe to toe with them or kind of sit back deep. And I think especially in these conditions, the game is all about the battle for possession, and whoever gets that early control in the game, when you come up with these high quality teams, that normally edges it. And I think City just got control of the game from minute 1, and they just weren't able to get back into it. They just couldn't get going.
Okay, let's hear some more reaction from the Juventus camp because we've just heard from Weston McKennie. Connor, that is tough when you are just chasing a game.
It's very tough. It's very tough, but Man City can make you do that. They can make you run out of position. They can overload in midfield. We said before the game, Rodri can get control of the game and make a million passes and just keep passing the ball and passing the ball. What I've noticed about Manchester City a little bit in a few games, and I don't know whether it's to do with Pep Linders going in there, but the transition is fantastic. When they're on transition and when they lose the ball, the transition to go and win it back. And it just makes me think, is that a reason why he's took Pep Linders in there from Liverpool? Because Liverpool on the transition were amazing under obviously Jurgen Klopp and Pep Linders there. So I've just seen a little bit of a difference with that, but tough for Juventus, tough day, and they'll try.
Oh, I think we've come back to the studio. Always have to be on your toes, guys. You just never know. We'll get back and hear from Jeremy Doku in a minute. But impressive game from him today.
Brilliant. But I thought superior player of the match could have been anyone. I thought they were outstanding, but him in particular, we were laughing, weren't we, when he was getting the ball backstage in terms of, as full-backs, Alex, thank you very much, just not wanting to be up against him. You know what I mean? Every time he got the ball, whether it be this, running off the ball and running in behind, brilliant ball from Ryan Aït-Nouri, but running him in behind his full-back, whether he's getting the ball and he's dangling his leg and coming inside onto his right foot to cross it or going down the line onto his left to cross it, he was just brilliant all day, and I think he is our worst nightmare, isn't he?
If he gets it to feet, but once he goes in behind you, you're dead as well. So you're kind of in between a rock and a hard place with him. It's really hard to mark someone like that. We were talking, it was funny, we was talking about him basically being like an analog PlayStation figure. He can just move in any direction at such speed. It's really incredible to see how he does it, and it's almost like he doesn't fall over. He can't fall over. Every time he gets knocked, he rides challenges. His movement over such a short space is just incredible. I've not seen anyone move like that.
I don't know if we can run that goal again, actually, because how you just mentioned his movement, he isn't just waiting for the ball to arrive in that space. He's actually going and then checking and coming back, which is so important to keep players moving and kind of on your toes.
And as a defender as well, you want to try and get as close to him as possible when the ball gets to his feet. And that's why it's just so difficult to mark him, because as soon as he gets a run on you, you're dead. And so you don't know whether to go tight or whether to save the space. I mean, I think in this instance, the defender needs to hold his position and not try and get too close to him. he just goes a bit too close to him, and then he leaves him the space behind. But it's really hard. It's much easier said than done, because you don't want him getting the ball to feet and facing you as well at the same time. I don't know what you think, Con, as a defender, but it's just so hard to make that decision when you're in the split second of the moment.
I'll be honest, from my point of view, I would not be going out there. I'm staying in with me centre-backs, I'll be honest. But I'm not a full-back like you guys. But I played with Adama Traore. Now, Adama Traore was a very similar mould in terms of his pace and power. Now, he's more direct off the ball. Adama wants the ball to his feet, but he's got both. He can do both. He can stand you up, like you just said. If you don't go to the ball, he stands you up and he comes inside or outside. If you go to him, he runs in behind. He's so clever. I think that's Pep Guardiola. I just think that's him teaching him and coaching him every single day in terms of what movements to make. And
then you look at Manchester City's squad, and then just as you are tiring as a defender, you look and see who's coming onto the pitch, and you've got Erling Haaland to then carry on and face.
And I think even with Haaland, it offers you something very differently. We saw in the second half, they started to go a bit more direct, right? And when he pins you as a centre-back, kind of love to get your thoughts on this. It's tough for you to deal with, right? So, because he's so big, he's so powerful, he's so technical, he's quick, he's got all the attributes you'd want in your number 9.
Yeah, but what's ridiculous, Mo, is we see, and Juventus done it a lot in the game, especially in the second half, where the outside centre-backs wanted to jump onto Manchester City 10. So you 1v1 with your middle centre-back, and that becomes tough. I've played that position, I've played against him in that position, and you've got to deal with a 1v1. You really have. This run was fantastic from Núñez. It's direct, it's towards. I think Dunny and Com's give him a bit of stick for his finish, but he's got to take that double touch to get it into the goal. But yeah, when you left 1v1, I think I was going to mention this pass is it's phenomenal in terms of what he does. But this is what I mean. You see about being 1v1, if you pin him, he holds you and brings people in. If you leave him again, he'll stand you up and commit you. Outstanding footballer, and this is what they can do. Runners off the ball, into Foden, and he gets a goal in the end.
Oh, this is the thing. We were quite critical of Juve, and we said at some point they're going to have to come out. And this is the thing. You try to come out against them, and then all of a sudden, one ball over the top and the ball's in the back of the net.
From the keeper, by the way.
Exactly. And they're multi-dimensional. I think adding Haaland to the squad in that sense. I mean, I know Aguero, when they had Aguero, he would go in behind. But when you can go up direct and get those runners off of him, I mean, there's not really much you can do. It's near enough impossible to defend.
I mean, it's goals from all over the place. We've not even spoken about Phil Foden coming off the bench once again and getting on the score sheet.
Yeah, Phil Foden is brilliant. I mean, we spoke about him in the first game, or leading up to the first game, how important it was for him to make sure he has a good tournament to set himself up for the upcoming season. But I think he's been brilliant. I think getting himself a goal today, I think it was his third touch. There's a stat for you. It was his third touch, but no, I'm pleased for him.
Well, I'll tell you what, here's a stat for you. Manchester City, 13 goals in the group stage.